Welcome back to the Hockey Show, and today we are here to talk all about my early overreactions in this new NHL season. This new year has just started. We're only barely into week 2 of it, and I have some early opinions, some overreactions to it, so let's talk about them. So starting off is that Logan Cooley, right now, in their careers, is better than Connor Bedard. Now, I know, it's like, okay, well, I'm off this video right now, but listen, Connor Bedard, 1,000,000 times over, will have a better career, will be the better player, the better generational, Hall of Fame #1 guy in his career. But as of this season, starting this year in its entirety, I think Logan Cooley will win the Calder Trophy, and he will be the better player. He's got 4 assists right now in 4 games. Connor Bedard's got 1 goal and 2 assists in 5 games. And just right now, just watching, Bedard definitely doesn't look out of place. Not a bust by any means, but he does feel like he's having he's definitely there, right? He's crashing the net. He's in the crease. He's fighting. He's creating plays. But Logan Cooley just does it even better. He sometimes looked like Sidney Crosby out there, or like a Leon Draisaitl, really, where something like that, especially that first game with the backhand pass right to Nick Schmaltz. The plays that he creates, he just feels more primed, and I think it's probably more from playing college hockey and playing probably a little bit better talent than Connor Bedard was playing for the Pats. And I think Cooley is just a little bit more ready to play against a grown adult NHL players than Bedard at this point. He just makes so much room for himself. He's just playing the game, and everyone's playing to him, and he's not playing to them. And Bedard right now, it feels like he's having a tough time right now, but not tough, as he does not look bad at all. But when it comes to all-stars, there's always an all-star and always the worst all-star. And right now, I think Cooley is the #1 of the rookies at this point. Next is the Vegas Golden Knights. I definitely think can go back-to-back. If there was a team, Tampa Bay was one, and now to me it is the Vegas Golden Knights. They have, and this isn't going to last a long time. This isn't the type of thing where it felt like the Tampa Bay Lightning. They went to the Eastern Conference Finals so many years, and then they made it to the finals in 2015, then the Eastern Conference Finals, and they had the embarrassing thing, and then they won the cup, and then finals or some order like that, right? And they've been in it. Vegas, to me, I don't think will have as long as a tenure, but this team is definitely back-to-back worthy, as it is just every single position on this team is just so nailed shut. And it's like every other team that plays against them, Vegas is already nailed in the last nail of the coffin for them. Defensively, shut down machines that can also create some plays with Shea Theodore and Pietrangelo up there, right? Guys like White Cloud even like to sometimes step up, but better just defensively, though, they are so strong on defense with just all of their players. I don't even have to list specific guys, right? Just the entire defense of Vegas is incredible. Goaltending, Adin Hill showing that he is definitely not a waste of time. I was worried he might be, but he absolutely is. He looks like the goaltender that when he jumped up in the NHL 4 years ago for the Coyotes, and he got it was 3 shutouts in 10 games or something. It was insane. He's showing he is that tremendous goaltender. He goes all out to me every night he plays, right? And then offensively, just so deep and so good up front with Eichel and Stone and Marcia Stevenson. I can name every player. There's no reason just listing them. This team is so good. And it's the same team that won it last year, except for Riley Smith, and it's just phenomenal. This team is phenomenal. So Vegas, absolutely 5-0 right now. I would not be surprised in the least that they could go back-to-back. Sanderson of the Ottawa Senators looks amazing for the Sens this year, and I think it's possible that the guy is at least in the top running for the Norris last year. The Norris Trophy is always such a weird trophy. Last year, I mean, Erik Karlsson, I personally think definitely deserved to win it. But then having Fox and Makar be his competition and not Dahlin or Morrissey or just one of them. I get having Makar or Fox, but not giving credit to Morrissey or Dahlin is insane to me. This year, I think Sanderson is going to be in the conversation. He runs the power play for the Senators. He's just so fast. He's just always on top of everything. He makes only good plays. And I've somehow looked out into like watching most of his the Ottawa's games, and he just is running everything. Like he is maybe just a little bit more impressive to watch. He's like, I think on the Sens, it goes like Stützle, Tkachuk, and then him, and he is just something insane. And the Sens as well, just their whole defense of Chychrun, Sanderson, and Shabbat now is insane. Their defense is definitely one of my favorites in the league. But Sanderson, he is just electric, and I can't wait to see how he just did from this season, who I think is going to have a huge year. He already is. He's already got 5 points. I think he's second in defenseman in points. And just see how he grows on top of this season. So, insane. Sanderson, insane pickup by the Senators. Next, the MVP race. I know you've already read it. I know I'm like announcing things that you haven't read it. But the MVP race, I think, is not going to be the same as it always is. It's always seeming McDavid's always in, the top number one spot, and then there's a couple names that can fit in there with like McKinnon or it's a Matthews or something. I think this is going to be an interesting year. I think Matthews is definitely going to win the Rocket, but I don't think he's going to be in the MVP. I don't think he's going to be like MVP's most valuable player, right? The heart and stuff, like it is like the best player, but it's also sort of like the most important. Anyways, Jack Hughes, right now, 10 points. He's leading the NHL in points. He just looks absolutely stellar. I think he's played 5 games with 10 points so far. He's he's 2 points per game, or somewhere along those lines. He looks amazing. Every time he's on the ice, he's running the play. He just looks phenomenal, and it helps that he's got guys like Jesper Bratt playing with him because he is just that team. The Devils are a wrecking ball. Rantanen. I think Rantanen, this is going to be the year that he's finally given a spotlight. I've been thinking for a long time that, yes, McKinnon is the best player, and he's like a top 3 guy in the NHL, but Mikko Rantanen does not get the credit that he deserves. He, ends with more points than, I think he's had, way more points than McKinnon. I know McKinnon gets injured a lot, but he gets more points than him over the last few years. Last season, I think, was, the first year McKinnon beat him in points. But Rantanen still had 107. The guy scores goals like crazy. The guy's just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal player. And I think Rantanen, this is going to be his year. I think it'll, sometimes it was Malkin over Crosby some seasons. I think this is the year Rantanen gets a little bit more credit than that he does deserve. And then I think it's Pettersson. I think Pettersson is on a... every season, there's a team that just has their big season and then things fall back. And I think this year is going to be similar for the Vancouver Canucks, where I think they're going to have a big season this year, just things seem like the stars have aligned, and then next year they're going to fall back again. And I think Elias Pettersson, he's stepping up, he's playing big, and he's getting points. He just seems like all 3 of these guys, MVP, right? They just seem to do everything right. And Pettersson, as well as those other guys. It seems... I think that could be the race. I think it'll be more likely that it could be, Hughes, Rantanen, and then McKinnon or something. Or, Hughes, Matthews, and then maybe Pettersson or something. But this is what I think is the true all-star race. At this point, of course. Buffalo, the drought is going to last. I thought for the life of me that this was going to be finally the year with Tage Thompson. And, just the whole team of Buffalo seemed like last year was a great stepping point, and now with Devin Levi and guys like Owen Power and Dahlin stepping up finally, the Power being great and then just going even better. Their defense is already great. Offensively, they are scoring machines. They just need to shut down some more goals. And Devin Levi and the growing defense of Sabres felt like this was going to be finally the year. Goal scoring, not an issue. It's getting scored on, and it seemed like the holes were being patched. But It just doesn't feel like it. Buffalo, when they're playing, the offense just doesn't seem to be there. The defensive side of things isn't going great, and I think this is going to be the drought that keeps going and going and going. So for Buffalo, I'm not really optimistic. Same thing for Seattle. Last year was a fluke. Last year, the 4 second lines got the job done, but I think this NHL, this season, is going to be more about true goal scoring and true skill and depth. And I think the production that the Kraken have is not going to be exactly. It just isn't. It's just not going to be what it was last year. Defensively, they're not amazing. Goaltending, Grubauer showing that he's still just the Grubauer that we thought was a joke. And offense is just not there to overcome those type of problems. And right now, Seattle still is no. They have 1 win finally, and they just look horrible. And then for Edmonton, their cup or bust this season, and it seems like it's going to be a bust. Do they make the playoffs? I think probably it feels unlikely that a team with McDavid and Draisaitl and Nugent-Hopkins and Hyman and Evander Kane don't make the playoffs. But once they do, things do not seem good. Goaltending is a huge, huge issue that I've been saying for a long time, but just nothing. But people didn't believe me. I'm like, Stuart Skinner's not that good of a goaltender. Then people are like, he's an all-star. He's not. This guy is not an all-star. Jack Campbell, I think, is the type of goaltender who can show up and stand on his head in the right circumstances, but the regular season doesn't really feel like his style. And getting to the playoffs, that defense and goaltending will shut them down, and they're absolutely not winning the Stanley Cup. And other than that, I think that's it. The one I feel strongest about on the board are the top 2 ones. I think Cooley is going to be the Calder winner. He just seems better developed to the NHL, and it feels like Connor, with the stress of the media on him, and he's handling it well. I mean, he still looks phenomenal, but he just doesn't have that true punch to his game that Cooley seemingly has on a team like the Coyotes, who he's got a little bit better help with guys like Keller and Schmaltz to play with. And I think Vegas too. Vegas as well feels like they could go back-to-back. They have the same team, and they feel like they're maybe even a little better than that, because now Vegas is the best momentum team, and they have the momentum from last season, and they haven't lost a single game this year. And it feels like it's just going to be a whole ride until this next Stanley Cup. So that is all I got to say. So thank you for watching this. If you've enjoyed this, please, I'm begging you, pick up your free subscription. And until next time, too sweet, have an amazing day. And ta-ta for now.